Welcome back to our part 2 of our podcast / interview / conversation. I'm just chopping it up with Cole. Still happy that you're here, that you haven't left yet. Glad I haven't scared you away.
Of course.
So we're going to kind of change gears a little bit, going a little bit more into school now and your experience here. So going from Slick to BYU, what was the change like for you?
Well, the scariest change was obviously a new team full of new players that I didn't always know, and maybe even bigger than that, like school I knew it was going to get so much harder. I've always been a pretty good student. I've always tried hard in school, but going from a junior college, which in a lot of ways was easier than high school, and then all of a sudden going to BYU, I knew it was going to get harder, and so that was probably my biggest fear coming in. So.
Was the sports on a different level, or do you think that they both competed at similar levels?
No, the sport's on another level for sure. Especially depth on teams. Like you get a lot of really good players in junior college, but you might not have the entire roster just full of good players. And so that was kind of the biggest difference is depth. That was a big one. And then, like I said, on top of that, the schoolwork that came on top of that, it just added to the whole stress load, which ended up making everything harder.
So. And then you guys, don't you lift at like 5 a.m. during winter? Like, don't you have some crazy early morning lifts?
Yeah, we start at 6. You football players get lucky because you get to use it whenever you want.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. You guys make the money. I get all that anyway. So, but yeah, we end up going at 6 a.m. every morning, which is all good. But
every morning or like?
Every morning but Wednesday. Yeah.
Oof.
So
that's really you're a trooper, man.
I don't have a choice. So.
And so, what year did you end up coming to BYU? Was it after your second year at Slick, or was it after your first?
After the second year. Okay. So it was the COVID year. So my COVID year at Salt Lake was the one that got cut.
Okay.
And then 2020 fall is actually when I showed up to BYU.
Okay, and then. So I see the ring on your hand.
Oh, yeah.
You're married. Did that happen at BYU? Was that before?
Did it happen at BYU? We actually met during COVID as well. We met, funny enough, during COVID. There were things going on with the high school that I went to, and the coach asked me to help out a little bit. And so I was coaching, and on that team was her brother.
Yeah.
And so I kind of saw her in the stands. I'm like, ooh, okay. You know what I'm saying? So thought she was pretty and all that. I wanted to talk to her, and that's actually how we met, was actually at one of our brother's baseball games that I was just kind of helping out coach for the summer. So I don't know, without COVID, maybe we would have never met that way.
Thanks to COVID.
So anyways, we get married about 1.5 years after we met. And then, she's on the Cougarettes team.
Yeah.
She's wonderful. She's the real champion in the house, right? Like, I like to think I'm okay at what I do, but they just win. They just national championship after national championship. So
and they got all the cool shoes, the sweatsuits.
They got it all. They do a great job. They're really fun. So
I had to throw that in there. Just had to throw your wife in there. I'll throw my wife in there. I love my wife.
There you go.
Got married a month ago today.
Hey, we talked about that earlier.
It's BYU. I mean, you gotta get married.
You're a veteran at this point. It's been a whole month.
We see each other like 4 hours a day.
Good.
Besides when we're asleep, you know how it is. It's it's fun. So going kind of based off relationships, kind of continuing with that. How do you feel like the chemistry in your baseball team is?
This year's been a year full of a lot of change for us. We have a new head coach and different things like that. So talking to the point of chemistry, it's incredibly important that we do have that chemistry within the team. And the chemistry, in my opinion, is just getting better. I've been here for a few years now, and I feel like every year I've been here, and maybe it's just because I've been more comfortable, but every year I've been here, I feel like it's gotten better, especially this season. Trent Pratt, who's the coach now, he really cares and wants to bring the guys together in that way. And it's cool when you get that feeling from your coach, because it's easy to reciprocate. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing that Trent's brought since the day he took over, is he really does care and love us. Doesn't mean he's not hard on us, because absolutely he is, but he does care, and that makes it easy for us to kind of care about one another as well as him.
Mm-hmm. So. What do you look forward to most going into this year for the baseball team?
Great. It's a crazy thing, because this is probably the first time where I can pretty confidently say this is my last year playing, right? And so I remember saying at the beginning of the year, the one thing I wanted to do is I've loved this game since I was a kid. Like every day, just love the sport and love every game, love every practice, even though that can be hard at times, because there's times when you don't play well or whatever else it might be. But like, I'm just excited for the fact that I know that I'm going to give everything to this year. You know, we have a great team. We have a chance to do really well. I want to play in the postseason, play in the regional, super regional. It's something pretty unique to baseball. But I want to do all those things purely because I've never gotten to do them before. And it's something that I'm excited about because I think we have the team to be able to do that.
Yeah. So you said you had that coaching change. How do you feel like that's going to, besides the team chemistry and that, how else is that going to positively change the team?
Trent's a big energy guy, you know, and because of that, he kind of brings that to the field every day. And like I said, there's times where he's really hard on us and you can feel that energy almost in a negative way, but because he's such an energy guy, I think the team feels that and we all want to be that way more. And so I think that might be the biggest change is really just the energy factor that Trent brings to the field every day.
Yeah. And so when does your guys' season start, or like is it
next Friday? So week and a half.
Next Friday.
Yeah.
Who are you playing?
We start in Louisiana. We play Louisiana Tech, and then go down to Louisiana, the Raging Cajun School, or whatever they go by. So
how many games do you guys play in a season?
I think the maximum you're allowed to play is 56. If I want to. And then obviously postseason you can play for a long time after that. But I think regular season, I think there's a cap at 56.
It's a lot of games.
Yeah, it's fun though.
Yeah,
there's a lot of games.
What game? So do you see your schedule before the season starts? Like, you know, what the games you're playing?
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to most?
Ooh, we got some good trips this year. The Louisiana series will be a ton of fun with both of those Louisiana teams. I think the big one I'm maybe most excited about is actually going to USD and playing San Diego. They're just a baseball area. They're a baseball school. They're so good at what they do, and it's always a heated, but also like a really popular, fun rivalry for us as the players and different things like that. So going to USD this year, going to San Diego, I think is going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, appreciate your time for the second segment. So we're not done, Cougar Nation. We got one more third segment coming up. Be sure to stick around for that. And if you haven't already, go back and watch part one. Had some good information passed back and forth. But appreciate you for watching part two, and be sure to stick around for part three. Thank you for watching this interview. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss the other two parts of this interview, plus all of our other interviews we do with BYU athletes. We also like to give a special thanks to our Cougar Board insiders for making this possible.